So often we get parents coming in asking, what do we do in a crisis when our child's at that crisis point? And often, and I know I've talked about this a bit, but school refusal seems to be a crisis, it's a crisis point for some families. So often, parents will ask, what do I do in a crisis?
Again, I'm thinking of John Gottman is a very renowned therapist working with parents in particular and around emotion coaching, and he talks about the first thing that we need to do, and we've mentioned it already, is do that bit of that empathising and validating and gently hugging, helping our kids to gently hug those big feelings.
Okay.
And naming it, for what it is.
So by saying, I can see you're really anxious about going to school.
Yeah. And as for all of us, if we're struggling or worried about something and somebody straight away comes in and tries to fix it or tell us this is what you've got to do, it feels too hard.
It does.
So it's really about being able to feel, sit with it, feel the anxiety.
And it is a lot
first.
more pleasant when somebody comes in and says, I can see you're really distressed about whatever.
Yeah. There are great videos online from Professor Dan Siegel in particular about the how the brain works and the idea that we have this downstairs brain, which is our survival brain and automatic, and it kicks into action to protect us. But it just runs amok as well. And then our upstairs brain, and he uses, I think, in some of the other videos they talked about the hand model of the brain, like our fist really, and the thumb and the wrist part is our downstairs brain. That's the part of us that's survival, automatic stuff like sleep and eating and
breathing
and fight and flight responses, because the anxiety is a signal that you've got to protect yourself. And the upstairs brain is our thinking and reasoning and problem solving part of our brain. But when we're in a crisis, what happens is we've just got to survive. So that stairway between the upstairs and downstairs sort of gets kind of cut off, and we often flip our lids. So we not thinking straight.
Absolutely.
You're not going to be able to take in any information or solve the problem in any way. So until we can do things to calm our kids' downstairs brain, we're not going to get anywhere. Yeah, and we do those things with some of those basic sort of physical things, like sometimes just holding, a touch, sometimes some sensory things, have a cool drink.
Right.
Let's go and, as adults, let's go and make a cup of tea. Doing some movement can be helpful sometimes. Getting them out for a little walk, or let's go and shoot some hoops while we work this out. So doing some of those body things, physical things, is really important. Then we can kind of start moving on to the thinking stuff.
Right.
So it starts with really basic things. Name the feeling, and this is Dan Siegel's whole brain child work, and there's plenty online. Name the feelings to tame the feelings. Being able to externalize, this is what's happening, this is why this has happened, let's just put that out there.
So as a parent, if your child was unable to name their feeling, would you support them to find that feeling?
Definitely. And you can use feeling faces, or you can use your words to help them find words that fit.
Absolutely.
It's
really helpful to understand that.
Definitely. And then there's more thinking things we can start moving on to in terms of coaching them with some self-talk, that it will pass. You've done these brave things before, and we're going to be able to do this again.
Riding that wave again.
Riding the wave again. And then you can start thinking about the problem solving and inviting the kids into what could be helpful here. So the third part of what we do is the action part. What can we do to make it better? And so basically, as caregivers, we're a coach. Yeah, we can't do it for them, but we can be the cheerleader, and we can give them some skills and teach them some skills and do the encouraging. So we really are trying to help them slowly, in a way that's manageable, face the fear.
Absolutely.
And school refusals are a really good example. So the sooner we can help them take steps towards, rather than that natural inclination with anxiety to avoid, the better. Because what we know is the more we avoid something, the bigger the fear seems to get. And then we fear the fear more than the situation.
Certainly seen a lot of that with youth who have suddenly disconnected socially, and then the thought of getting back out there with their friends is just so big. Yeah, absolutely.
So then, graded ways of thinking about what could be. It might feel uncomfortable, but it might be manageable.
Absolutely.
And start with one step at a time, and being the coach along the way.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you.